The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Hello and welcome to Fearless Fabulous You. I am your host, Melanie Young, and we are in the last month of 2025, December 2025. So we just cleared Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, and we are now heading into that interesting time of the year because it's the happiest time of the year, the most beautiful time of the year, the jolliest time of the year. And the magical time of the year, and everybody's sparkling and shining and glittering, and everybody's feeling gay, right? Nah, not really. I was reading about the holidays because not everybody feels that holly jolly time. In fact, this is kind of creepy, scary. I just read that almost 49%, or over 40% of Americans say they're feeling more stressed in 2025 over the holiday season than last year, 2024, which is like maybe high 20%, 28% in the 20, almost double. So almost double of Americans are feeling more stressed this year. That's kind of scary, but there are reasons for that. And they're fairly standard, and you may have felt them. I know I have, so I'm sharing because I care. The key holiday stressors, one is grief. 48% of people say grief is a holiday stressor because maybe you have lost a loved one, or maybe you're like I did in 2022. I was caregiving my dying mother over the holidays, and it was a grim, not a fairy tale. It was a grim reality. My mother died on December 22nd, 2022. So my Christmas holiday just sucked. That's all I'm going to say. I had to pick out her coffin on Christmas Eve and plan for a December 27th funeral because we had to clear the holidays. And so my husband, Dave, and I probably had one of the saddest Christmases ever. Last year, it seems like, and I don't want this to be a Debbie Downer because just so you know, I'm going to talk about how to turn it around, but I'm setting it up. It seemed like for many, many years, David, my husband, and I spent a lot of last Christmases celebrating. What's a last Christmas? Maybe you're feeling it. Well, you got to go home to see mom or dad or grandma. It could be their last Christmas. God knows we spent so many Christmases apart. David would go see his mom in Florida so she wouldn't be alone. I would see my mom, who both widows, in Tennessee. So David and I actually never shared a lot of Christmases together because we were busy spending what could be the last Christmas, or wanted to brighten up our mother's Christmases. So there was a Florida, Tennessee thing, and then we'd meet afterwards to go celebrate New Year's and our birthdays together. Last Christmas was my mother-in-law's last Christmas. David and I were living in New Orleans, and we canceled plans to do a big trip for New Year's. We stayed local. We drove to Jacksonville to spend what we thought might be the last Christmas with his mother, Sally. She fell the next day and was hospitalized for 2 weeks. And it was her last Christmas. She died in September of this year. We're both glad that we made the decision to spend our last Christmas. But I said to David this year, this is our first Christmas where we're not having a last Christmas. This is actually the first Christmas where we are untethered and free to just create our own Christmas traditions in our new adopted home of New Orleans. So we should be feeling gay. But, last night started what I call the holiday stress period, because I think about my family. I think about all the loved ones we've lost over the holidays, many of whom we lost over the holidays, literally. I think about the pressure to go out and spend money. I think about all that. And then I said, self, You don't have to do anything. You can create your holiday spirit with the spirit you have and enjoy it the way you want. You don't have to follow anyone's rule book on how to enjoy the holidays. And that's what I want to tell you, how to keep your cool during the Yule and define your own holiday spirit your way, and how to take care of yourself so that you are cool, calm, and collected, because we want you to have a cool Yule. And I'm saying this as I talk to you. I think of some of my friends. I have 2 friends who just lost their beloved dogs, and I know they're sad. So the first thing I do around this time of the year is I don't think inward and stare at my navel and what was my year like. I stopped doing that. I used to reflect all the time. I go, what was my year like? Was it good? Was it bad? What can I do better? How can I make things better for myself? And the first thing I did is I tossed all that away because I'm no longer here to achieve and slay the world and whatnot. I achieved. It's great. Life is good. I'm here to just enjoy life and bring joy to my friends who may be feeling less joy this year. So the first thing I do is I pick up the phone and I call a friend. Dave and I love to just pick up the phone and call a friend and have a conversation with someone we haven't talked to a while, because nothing beats that more than scrolling and posting and whatnot. We used to send out Christmas cards. Love doing that, but we are not doing that now because postage is expensive. And I just spent, my mother would send out cards every year, and we'd have a tradition of I'd drive her to the post office and she'd pick out her little Christmas stamp. And my job was to put the stamps and help her fill out the cards. And in her last couple of years, when she could no longer write because she had crippling arthritis, I helped her do her cards and post them. And it was great. But when she died, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Christmas cards, so many that I had to sell them or throw them out, and I hate waste. So I have a little aversion now to buying Christmas cards because I was swallowing and drowning in them when we were cleaning out our house. So what I do instead is I call people and say, I want to tell you that I'm thinking about you and how much I enjoy you or miss you or whatever I can say positive. If I know they're grieving or they're having a different time, I'll maybe send them a little gift, or maybe they'll get the card with a little personal note, but I keep it simple. Keep it simple. I also believe that this is a great time to find your inner child again and do goofy things. You don't have to do expensive things. I don't know about you, but I can't afford to write checks to lots of charities, but I can afford to post about these charities, or maybe spotlight them on this podcast, or shine a light on them so that maybe people who have more money than me can write the check. So I do that. I try to spotlight wonderful giving organizations and caring organizations that I support spiritually, but I can't support financially. So maybe I share there, or I look at their online stores and see if there's any gifts I can give that will give back to them. Like one of my favorites, and she's been a guest on the show, is Thistle Farms. It's based out of Nashville. The founder suffered child abuse and sexual abuse as a child, and now she helps women who are suffering from human trafficking or abuse. She provides a safe haven for them. It's called Thistle Farms. She teaches skills to these women, helps rehabilitate them, and they have a beautiful online shop. That's one example. There are many more. Let's say that you love the theater, or you love the opera, or you love the ballet, or your local zoo, or a nonprofit. See if they have an online site, or they're selling a special Christmas ornament or gift package, and buy there. Then you're supporting them in some way. That's really important, to stop thinking about how wrong you feel, but feel how right it is to think about others. That's the best gift you can give yourself. Well, one of the two is to give thoughtfully. It doesn't have to be expensive, just something simple to make someone else feel better. I had a friend, she passed, I think last year, Natalie Dupree. She's been a guest on, I think, both on my shows. And she created something called the pork chop theory of cooking. But this pork chop theory is bigger than cooking. The concept is you put pork chop in a pan, it cooks. Okay. If you put two pork chops in the pan, the fat supports each other and they cook better. So share the fat. In other words, you're better together than apart. So connect with people. Have people over for coffee or meet them for coffee. Or David and I love just to have small, intimate dinners. It saves us on spending money going out. We're blessed with a lot of wine from our various wine events. So we have people over for dinner and do home cooked meals. I, who never cooked in my life when I lived in New York, I'm a champion of home cooked meals and dinner parties now. Small. We keep it small and simple, but it's a great way to gather friends you haven't seen in a while. Everyone will tell you, including me, practicing self-care is essential this time of the year. This means trying not to overindulge. Yeah, have a bite of this and that, but you don't have to have the whole piece of pie or cake. For some reason, sugar right now is making me go berserk. I've had to cut back. It gives me a raging headache. So I'm eating less, but enjoying everything. I never pass on anything unless I really don't like it. And I never talk about your weight or how will I get this weight off. Don't worry about it. Just let it go. If you're healthy, just enjoy the fact you're healthy. Take more walks, enjoy nature. Even if it's cold, bundle up and enjoy it. Go to the library. If you don't have a library card, get a library card. It's the best thing ever. I go to the library, I pick up books, I curl up and read. I've gotten, when the weather cools down, even here in New Orleans is cooler, I drink tea or tisanes and I curl up with the book. And it just feels so relaxing. Or I sketch or I write. I have my diary in front of me right now, my journal. I'm not going to hold it up because it's hard, well, a little bit, but I keep a journal and I write. And I actually wrote my guidelines for self-care and keeping your cool during the Yule, not only for myself, for you. So the first was practice self-care. Take walks, stretch. When you get up in the morning, stretch your body because it's probably tight in the cold and sleeping. Stop. If you're still working, stop. Set a timer to stop at a certain time and let it go. It's okay to work less. I know some people have to work harder. Maybe they have multiple jobs. Just create a time, carve out a time that's your time and you're not working or scrolling, just your time. And give yourself a daily treat, a reward for anything. It could be as simple as slathering yourself with a luxurious moisturizer that's probably sitting on the back of your shelf. As I said, curling up with a library book or a book and tea. Uh, if you like to cook, make a recipe. I just like to take walks and I love to read interesting books or articles where I can lose myself in it. I'm a journalist at heart. I love to read wonderful writing. Maybe listen to an audiobook or a podcast, whatever it does to feel good. Maybe you just want to go get a great mani-pedi or go to the local store and have a makeover. That's another thing to do to treat yourself. Just do something every day to make yourself feel great. If you're not working and you're retired or choosing not to work, volunteer. A lot of nonprofits and charities right now have had massive budget cuts and could use your amazing personality and talents and knowledge to help them. Whether it's an animal shelter where you could help them take care of animals. Maybe it's your local ballet where they need people to help sell, Christmas ornaments during an intermission. Maybe it's a holiday party or a big fundraiser where that you can't write that big check, but maybe you could help sign people in or be at the membership booth. There's lots of ways that people can use you as a wonderful volunteer where you can be a part of the festivities without having to write a check. So think about that. Another thing I've started to do is take a nap. My late mother-in-law used to take 13-minute naps, 13, and then she increased to 20 when she got like up in her 90s. She died at 92. Take a little nap or just lie down with your eyes shut no sound or maybe music and just sit and be quiet because we're always going, going, going. The holidays are like, we got to go, get the house clean. We got to decorate. We've got to go to parties. We have to buy gifts. Dave and I stopped giving each other gifts many, many years ago. We share experiences. For me, that's a gift. I do spend money on travel. It's my passion. It's our birthdays. December 27th is David's. Mine's January 1st. So I know if I can give ourselves something special to ring in a new year for us age-wise, as well as, annually a new year, I do it. It doesn't always have to be extravagant. Last year, we drove to Jacksonville to be with his family and his mother's last Christmas, and we ended up driving back to New Orleans and just having a fun time here. We're doing a bit more this year, going on a bucket list trip to Portugal because I want to do something different. And that brings me to do something different. Just do something out of the ordinary. Even if you don't like it, you tried it, but it'll lift your spirits to say, I did it. Nurture your senses. So nurture your body by exercising, stretching, adding that extra moisturizer if it's dry out. Just something, put oil in your hair. Sometimes when David's out riding his bicycle, I'll put oil in my hair. I'll put a face mask on. All the things he can't stand watching me do, I do them when he's gone. I'll get my red light Juve out. I do all that because it feels good and he's not around. So that's what I do. And when he's back, I'm glowing. I'm like, hi, how was your bike ride? He's like, what have you been doing? I'm like, nothing. Just taking care of me. So that's what I do. If you live alone, lucky you. You can do all those things whenever you want. And there's no one there to go, what are you doing? Nurture your senses. I love listening to music. We have a station here that actually you can listen anywhere called WWOZ. It's a New Orleans-based jazz. I listen to that and I just get lost in the music. However, the other night we went to a really fun event called Celebration of the Oaks in City Park. Because one of the great things I love to do, and I used to do with my mom and dad as little girls, we go out and see all the holiday lights, whether it was the hotel lobbies or the store windows or the parks or just people's houses. We would always have a tradition of driving around looking at holiday lights. And I remember when we moved back in with my mom and she'd been isolated because of COVID, we wrapped her up and took her out to go see holiday lights. And she was like a kid again. She was so excited. And it brings out your inner kid. So we did that the other night at Celebration of the Oaks, which in New Orleans is this big lit up affair in City Park. And we drove around and listened to just holiday music. And it was so much fun. And I started doing that. The other night I was feeling a little strung out and I just listened to holiday music on our TV. I put it on and just watched. It was great. David's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just enjoying holiday music. During this time of the year, David likes to watch goofy Hallmark Christmas movies. I indulge him and let him do it. It's the same theme. Girl lives in New York, goes back home to take care of family, save the family business, whatever. She thinks she's going to go back to New York or big city to get a big promotion, but meets the old friend who now is the fireman, policeman, postman, mayor, whatever. She comes back, falls in love, and decides to give it all up and move to the home. That's the story. I think I lived that story myself, but I could write another story like it. But we watched that, and I've been watching old movies like Grease. I love John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. I have my favorite holiday movies. You probably do too. Mine is Love Actually and Four Christmases. Those are my favorites. I also love Auntie Mame because I love the song We Need a Little Christmas. And of course, It's a Wonderful Life. So watch those holiday movies. Go out and look at the holiday lights. Bundle up and go to the beautiful hotel lobbies if like we have them here in New Orleans, and we're going to do that tonight. And look at the holiday lights. That's free. Tonight, we're going to, check the local churches and synagogues and see if they have free holiday concerts. We're doing that tonight. We're going to St. Louis Cathedral to see a free holiday concert. Free. You don't have to spend anything to find holiday joy, and you don't have to do much to find your inner joy. You just have to pull it out and let it rip and go for it. Don't worry about what other people think. Because one of the big issues this fear is missing out. You go on social media and you see all these people all glammed up and going to big parties. And does it seem like everybody's out at a holiday party and you're missing out? Well, maybe you are. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm not invited or there's no room for me. But then I get over it because you can create your own holiday event and party yourself and stop worrying about it. Get just a matter of picking up the phone or sending out some texts and say, hey, let's get together for some holiday cheer. However, you don't have to cram it all in December. One of my biggest pet peeves living in New York is we had a lot of friends up in New York because we'd lived there a long time, but people be like, we have to get together. I have to see you before the end of the year. And once so many people said that to me. I said, why do you have to see me now? We could have seen each other in June. Why does it have to be the end of the year where you see people? So often, if I sense that somebody's feeling a little holiday pressure or they just can't get together, I'll say, I'll see you in the new year. Let's plan something when it's quieter for all of us. It shouldn't just be all crammed into December or the last 2 weeks of the year. Spread out all that joy. You don't have to do it at the end of the year. And if you really do feel alone, Meetup. Go to Meetup and find something you're interested in. Maybe you want to learn how to watercolor. Maybe you want to learn how to make a wreath. Maybe you want to make gingerbread houses. There is a Facebook group or a Meetup group that will do it. You can just look it up and you'll find local people, local organizations and groups with similar interests, and you can go learn to do something. I've always wanted to learn, refine my skills at collage artist. So I put that on I want to learn about collage and watercolor and try it myself. I have a friend who makes gingerbread houses. She has invited me over to make a gingerbread house with her. I've never done that. I think I'm going to do that. So joy doesn't have to be expensive. Financial stress, gosh, I have suffered financial stress over the years, over the holidays, every day, you name it. To the one day I made a New Year's goal that I would not have debt. It's all I wanted was to be debt free. And I made that a goal that I achieved. It wasn't easy, but if you can find a way to address the holiday stress by making a budget, putting money away, not going on social media and looking at special offers, try to stop yourself from buying and trying and buying. Make sure you're not signing up for auto renewals. Attend free events. It's okay to try free products and offers, but watch it. You're not getting roped into an auto renew or a membership. Free concerts are the best. Looking at decorations, the best. You don't need to spend a lot of money on gifts. Really, give your time. If you really are really financially strapped, get a Christmas card and write a note in it and say, I will give you my time if you need help with a project or you need you need someone to drive you somewhere or your kids. I will volunteer and gift you my time. That happened to me recently. I had some surgery and friends gifted their time to drive me to and from the hospital because my husband doesn't drive. That was a gift to me. And if I can do something like that and gift my time back to you or a friend, I will do that. If you feel like you need to buy stuff, and we always have what we call that. It's in the closet. Let me go get it. Holiday gift for people. Gift cards are great. Everybody can use a gift card. And local stores have local gift cards. I mean, it's always nice to support local. Find a couple of local stores and have some stuff ready, or bake some breads or cakes and have ready. Some of my favorite gift cards are, basic, like credit card gift cards, Target. If somebody's into fixing up their home, a Home Depot. It could be a Starbucks gift card, whatever. If you know somebody loves something, get them a little bitty gift card. It doesn't have to be a lot of money, just a little thought that counts. Another thing that's nice is I support local museums. They have great gift shops, or even better, give someone a membership. Some of the memberships are not that expensive, and maybe somebody would love to be a member of the local park or the local museum or something like that, and they hadn't thought about it. That's a great gift. a membership, or support by shopping at their online store, as I said before, or go to the local farm market or a holiday market and pick up just small things that you can have. Not a Christmas ornament or a Hanukkah gift, something small. The other thing I recommend is wearing bright colors like I'm wearing. Get out of your black and brown, or if you just have to wear black and brown, if you live in New York like I did, embellish. Get something sparkly to wear on your head. They do this in New Orleans all the time. I take, I have all these vintage pieces of jewelry that I got from my mother-in-law and my mother, and I sometimes put them on my shoes if they're clip earrings, or on my sweaters if they're pins. Just bling it up. It's kind of fun to do. Make homemade cards. Another thing I like to do is when I have cards that are sent to me and I love the cards, but maybe I don't want to keep the card. If it's a beautiful card, I'll cut the card up and keep that front and put it in a little frame and give it to someone. I have so many beautiful cards with glitter and bling that are beautiful. And I'll put a little note on the back of that front of the card. I've already taken off the other back, and I'll put in a frame for someone. It's so much fun. I think that's a great thing to do. Um, Games. Believe it or not, people love games, whether it's, and you can go to estate sales or consignment stores or secondhand stores and find perfectly good things. My husband he found an air fryer, perfectly good air fryer at a local Goodwill. And now he's air frying to death. And it's perfectly fine. Repurposed gifts are great. You're taking something someone no longer needs or wants, and you're giving it to someone else who could use it or appreciate it. I'm all for that. If you can't afford to travel, there's a lot of, Travel Tuesday, good, everything points to travel. Maybe you can't. Maybe this isn't the year, but become a tourist in your own hometown. Again, local libraries do more than lend books. You can check out crafts, you can check out movies, you can go to free lectures. Museums, the same thing. You can sometimes local tourism offices offer tourist passes at discounts to people visiting your town. Be a tourist in your own city and take advantage. Check out what your local Groupon has locally. You can get great discounts. There are so many ways to enjoy where you live and be a tourist in your own town. I've done it many times, that you can turn a staycation into, something amazing. I've done it many, many times. Here's something interesting. Host a gift swap. Maybe, like many people I know were like, I have too much stuff, or my mother and parents left me a house with too much stuff. This is a great time to create a gift swap, or I call it a swag sale. You can say, bring something that you no longer sparks joy for you, but you'd like to gift, and just swap out and do it with coffee. And people can also bring, it could be a covered dish and have a gift swap. That's a lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun. Try not to overconsume alcohol or food. If you find yourself doing it, don't buy anything that's tempting. Stay away from it. Try to have a mocktail or pot of tea ready, something that can hydrate you, that is not alcohol. I mean, I love wine, but I drink a lot of water and tea to offset alcohol. And I know when to stop. Know when your stop is ready. And when it's ready, say, I'm done. Don't feel any pressure to keep going. If you know a friend who is going through a rough time, please reach out and take that person to lunch if they're long distance. Maybe that's the person you send a little "I'm thinking of you" card or gift. I have a few friends like that, and I'm shopping around for special little ornaments for their tree. They lost their dog, so I'm looking for dogs things to make them feel better, or send them pictures. Create a picture collage of you and your friend together. That's always so much fun. It's okay to decline invitations. You don't have to say yes to everything, particularly when the yes involves writing a check to attend. Come to this holiday lunch. It's $150. Come to this. It's okay to say, I'd love to, but I have other plans. Even if your other plans are curling up and reading a book or watching a Christmas movie or doing nothing, if you're not comfortable going, or you feel it's gonna stress you out because you are writing a check to have that joy, then don't do it. Nobody's holding a gun to your head saying, and I hate that phrase, nobody's forcing you to go out and do things. And you shouldn't feel like you have to do them because you're missing out. Do it because you want to. Do say yes to people who may not be around or available. If you have friends in town, try to see them. You don't know when you're going to see them again. Try to say yes to things that are going to be fun, or maybe you haven't seen these people in a long time, or maybe it's a new experience. I always hated the fact, and I do have my regrets, and one was that was too busy working to see people or visit them. They'd send me invitations to come visit, and I'm like, "No, I can't fit it in." Well, now I have a lot of time, and I'd love to fit in. The invitations may be different, but I do try to accept invitations to things where I feel I could meet new people, have a great experience, be a part of something. I don't have to be the life of the party, but I'd like to have the party to have life for me. Create your own holiday ritual. For Dave and I this year, that's kind of a new thing because, as I said at the beginning of the show, we've been focusing on spending last Christmases with our mothers for a long time. So we didn't have a holiday ritual other than waiting for Christmas to be over to be together again. This year, we're actually going to go out for Christmas Eve lunch. It's just us. We don't have other family now. That's the downside of the last Christmas is you have less family. But we're going to create our own rituals. We're going to have a little holiday lunch, and then we're going to have Christmas Eve at home. And then actually on Christmas Day, which is for us a quiet time, we're actually flying because David's birthday is the 27th, and I always like to land on the 26th wherever you are so that he has a great birthday. That's our current holiday ritual. Besides just going out and enjoying the local beauty that we live in and going to watch all the decorations, which I just get excited like a kid about. So slow down, celebrate, but celebrate at your pace. It's not a race. It's not about who has the biggest and brightest holiday and is giving the biggest and brightest gift. If that is stressing you out, stop scrolling. Don't watch TV shows that are encouraging you to shop. I don't know about you, but I'm tempted to buy everything. I saw something today on CBS Morning, and I was like, I really want that Dennis Basso recharger at $49. But do I really need a Dennis Basso charger at $49? No. Do I really need half the stuff I bought and have returned over the past week because of special offers? No. And I've spent a lot of time returning stuff. So I'm trying to get off the computer other than to read and do my work and post and write. I keep a journal, as you can see. I write everything in it, including all my notes that I'm talking to you about now. I find it very centering. Maybe you're an illustrator and you want to illustrate. Find something that stirs your creativity and your thoughts that you can put on paper and print something. I think it'll be good to clear your head. As for family, which is a big stressor, as I said, the top stressors are finance, grief, feeling lonely. I've touched all of those, and family. I have this to say. Family tensions are tight. David and I visited different people for Thanksgiving, and we chose to let families be together because let them work out their topics. We don't need to be the extra people there who are not part of the family. However, as my own family becomes fewer and far between, I've learned to, as my late mother would say, friends are the family you choose to hold close. So I've learned that even though I no longer have parents and siblings, I've never had, and my family is few and far between. And David has family, but nope, really it's us. I've learned to cherish the people that I hold close, including my friends and who I consider family. And I've cherished that. So I don't have family issues other than I don't have much family. But I've solved that by creating friends who are like family for me. So don't let family touch nerves. Enjoy them while you have them because they won't be there forever. And then choose your friends who you consider family and cherish them and hold them close. And hopefully they'll be with you for a long haul. That's what I hope. Anyway, I'm going to be taking some downtime over the holiday to focus on some of my rituals that I just talked about and do some traveling. So I want to wish everyone who is following me a fearless, fabulous holiday. I hope that it is calm and centering and that you find the joy you want and you keep away the tension and stress you don't need. And you maybe follow some of the tips I've provided. And if you need to reach out and talk to someone, do it. And above all, keep your cool during the Yule. It's just a couple of weeks out of an entire year. And then remember that the holidays may only come once a year, but you can make a holiday any day you want. You don't need to set dates to celebrate. You can celebrate every day your way. And as I always like to say, make sure that whatever you choose is on your terms and not on the terms and criteria that other people set for you. Do it your way and always choose fearless and fabulous. Happy holidays. Thank you.